Hey everybody, it's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Gramercy Theater, and today we're here with Francesco of Fleshgod Apocalypse. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah, of course. It's so great to have you here. Veleno is your latest record. Let's just give a run on how the making of the record has been.
It's been super cool. We spent probably the best time of our lives in the studio this time. It was fucking great because we collected material for 3 years, and then we had like a break from touring during the last summer. And we packed all the songs, went to the studio. We've been to Bloom Recording Studio, which is a super big pop, very cool studio in Rome, with Marco Mastrobono, which already produced and recorded the last one, King. And then we had the time of our lives with Jacob in Denmark. He's such a nice guy, super talented, a humble guy. So we are super happy, and the recordings were great, the production great. I love it.
Awesome. Now, is this record intended to be like a direct follow-up to King, or do you think that this new record kind of stands out in your discography?
I think it stands out because we changed a little bit the songwriting process. As I said, it's not like the process. It's basically the same, but the time frame in which we wrote the music is way wider. Like it took 3 years. So in some ways different. Every song is totally different because every song belongs to a different period of time. When the main riffs were written and stuff. So it's very different. We never we don't like to copy ourselves. To do the same album over and over. Sometimes we feel like a little bit scared because, for example, King is considered by many of our fans the milestone of our career so far. So it's like, why not going with a similar album? It's such, it's a big album for us. The press and all the fans loved it. So it's the right formula, but we don't like it. We just go with our flow, and we felt a little bit different. Things changed in the last 2 years, so why not going back with totally different album? We just rediscovered a little bit of our roots. We've been a little bit more death metal oriented in this album, but you never know. Maybe we come up with a ballad album and the next time, or a black metal album. Who knows? I don't know.
Do some duets.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. As long as it's good, and the heart and the effort you put in it is like 100%, not 120%, even more. So, and whatever you do is like totally, the best thing you can do in that moment. Then it's fine for us. So.
Awesome. Now, from listening to you guys and seeing you guys play, I think your music is both very heavy and very melodic at the same time. I feel like you guys have the best of both worlds with that. So, is there ever something that comes first? Do you have to lay down rhythm first before you add melody, or do you revolve your whole composition around melody?
Well, that thing is totally based on inspiration. So me and Francesco, the other Francesco, writes the material, and so sometimes we start from a piano lick or from a guitar lick, or some other times we started from a melody that I sang in the shower, or some other time we started with a rhythm. So it depends, It's sometimes it's more about I don't know, understand the potential of what you're writing, So it's not there is no there is not a list that you can follow when you write, At least for us, it's more chaotic, and as soon as we get something very cool, we leave it there for some days, and then we go over it again and check if it's real good, and after that, like double checking, triple checking, and in the very end it ends up that it's included in the album as a song, or as a part of a song. So that's it. Mainly, as I said, it's totally chaotic, and the real challenge is to mix and balance these two apparently very far worlds, which are like symphonic music and death metal.
Yep, definitely. And another question I was really curious about is because as somebody who's seen you live on 2 occasions before, I really think that your production that you utilize and you really create an atmosphere and a certain stage presence. So playing live versus like in the studio or a practice space, how different of an experience is it for you? Because as a fan, seeing you guys live is very different from just listening to you guys.
We are all old school musicians, right? So what we like is not just play the songs, and you have the opportunity to play the songs, make concerts, but I don't think it's enough nowadays, and I don't think it's enough artistical wise. So what we wanted to include is the drama in it. So that's why it's way more theatrical, and let me honestly, it's way more difficult, and it's way more tough because you have to dress in a certain way which is not comfy for play the stuff we play, but at the same time we can give different emotions, and you can in some way witness and enjoy the show in on different levels, which is the music can be the show, the theatrical aspects, and so it's we live good memories. We live, I would say, emotions. We give emotions, and this makes people come back next time, every time. So we're starting with 20 people, and now we're selling out this theater.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's actually really funny because on the other 2 occasions, like I saw people just kicking the crap out of each other in the mosh pit, but then I like saw people like in the seats like looking at you guys like this was like a Broadway show or something.
It's sometimes we see people crying, which is crazy,
I was probably one of them.
Okay, but we cry as well because it's fucking hard to fight.
Exactly.
Inside, we cry inside.
Yeah.
No, but it's one of the best gifts that people can give you. This kind of energy, even if it's more like tragedy thing. They're in some way they feel there's goosebumps and they cry, and when you see it, you feel completely fulfilled of what you're doing. Like it's the best that a musician can achieve, to me.
Definitely. Now, I've seen Fleshgod play with a variety of different bands. Like the first time I saw you was with Epica, and then you did a tour with Whitechapel and the Black Dahlia Murder.
Cool tour.
Yep, and now you're on this tour with Hypocrisy. Depending on like the types of tours you're on, have you had like maybe a different reaction to your music?
There is different reaction because the fans are sometimes. Of course, we have our fans coming to the shows every time, but for example, when we go with Epica or a band like this, or we go with Hypocrisy, it's totally different crowd, and some of them don't know Fleshgod, and the reaction is different. Of course, we have a very, I would say, transversal. Is that English?
Yeah.
Transversal approach to the music. So we got a lot of old school in our music. So even if it's super melodic and super, it's symphonic, which is some kind of crossover, a little bit less true, than old school death metal. Still, we give something to these people. They enjoy it because they feel that there's a lot old school approach in the music and in the band in general. Same story with Epica. We go there with blast beat, double kick all over the time, growls, and super extreme death metal, but still we have these moments which are long moments in the set list where you can relax, enjoy, and they are all centered into melodic parts, soprano parts, stuff like that. So they enjoy, and they in some way accept the fact that we are even super brutal. So it's it's just like in the album, it's a matter of balance, and wherever we go with any bands we go on tour, we always find a way to get new people and get people involved and love us, and that's great. And some people, they don't like it, but it is what it is. I mean, like, of course you can not everybody can like you. I mean,
Well, it's funny. Like, I think a good example that I've compared you guys to is a band like Slipknot. I know people who will not listen to Slipknot anytime, but will go see them live because of the entertainment aspect. I feel like you guys, with your theatrical elements, have a similar effect.
yeah. We will look up to Rammstein. Rammstein, they are our idols in this. King Diamond, Behemoth, of course Slipknot, or like such other bands like more. We love, for example, we, shows with the orchestra like Demo did. You know, so it's yeah. I think we will get there. It takes time. The band is pretty young. It's 10 years. We are already out since 12 years, but it's not enough. You know, you have to work much more to achieve this kind of things. But we are on the right path, I think. So definitely. We will get there. And yes, we look up to this crazy, artist that put such incredible shows, and this makes some kind of difference. Yes,
Definitely. And the final question I have for you is coming from Central Italy. I've interviewed a few bands from Italy, such as Lacuna Coil, Destrage from Milan, and
that's right, killer guys.
Yeah, super awesome guys. And so I was just curious, were you a band? Because like a country like Sweden or Norway, there's thousands of bands from there. Yeah. Is there like a metal scene in Italy that Fleshgod kind of cut their teeth in, or did you have to go outside your country to get your name out there more?
All right, you can't have a career in Italy. The scene is not big enough, but there is, and it's a strong scene, even if it's super underground. So you don't get big numbers there, but still you have a lot of loyalty by the fans, and there is a lot of quality music. So yes, it's complicated. It's not just like being from Scandinavia or United States. Some ways, it's not like this. You start and you start a band and you can live of it. I mean, it's not happening in Italy, but you can do it. You can go outside and then gain credibility and have a career outside, and then everything builds up in Italy as well. So when you go back every time, it's better and better, and I think it's a cool thing, It's a complicated country. It's not easy. It's very, one of the best places in the world. I will never leave it, I love it. But for music and nowadays, especially for metal, all kinds of underground music is a little bit complicated. Same story with jazz or stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, like if you want to play jazz, you have to come here or to Berlin. It's not. You can do it in Milan, but very few people. There's no opportunity. You have to travel.
Yeah, it's weird too because I've always thought that Rome invented the concept of entertainment, like with the Colosseum and everything like that. Yeah. I mean, there was no Fleshgod Apocalypse back then, but imagine playing to that type of show.
Wow, something that don't tell me. I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
it could be probably the best thing ever.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's still standing. I mean, you could
like Pink Floyd in Pompeii, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
So before we go, I'd like to thank you so much for your time. Right. You're just doing up this tour right now with Hypocrisy. Is there anything else with Fleshgod that you would like to promote for the Veleno record cycle?
Yeah, we're coming out with another song in the next few days, and then we have a brand new video clip coming out as well. With a new album. The album is gonna be out May 24th. Mm-hmm. And so get your copy. Like if you want to support us, this is still the best way to do it. So thank you very much for coming to the shows. Thank you very much for listening to your music, and see you on the road.
There you go. Well, Francesco, thank you so much. Everybody, Francesco of Fleshgod Apocalypse, Veleno out this May. Be sure to pick it up if you haven't already or if you plan on doing it. And we'll see you next time on Heavy New York.